What's going on, everybody? Hey, today I want to talk about one of my favorite things in the world, this little girl. Let's talk about Belgian Malinois, training them, living with them, all that good stuff. I know you do. So, a little history. These are herding dogs, going way back in the day. Obviously they're from Belgium, right? There's actually 4 different breeds of Belgian herding dogs. The closest cousin to this, there's one, it looks just like a Malinois, but a really long-haired one. And there's the Dutch Shepherd, who is almost like the stepsister or half-brother of Malinois. They just have a little bit different coloring. Other than that, they're really close to being the same. These dogs have been used in war all the way back to World War I. World War I and II also saw almost the demise of the dog, because where the war was taking place was where these guys are from. So, you know, the bombing, the shelling, dogs running away, people get killed, all that stuff. You know, it was almost the demise of the dog twice. But they've bounced back. In early 1900, they became part of the American Kennel Club. And since around 1980, 1990, kind of depends on where you're at there or what you read, they've been working with law enforcement and the military. Before these guys got into law enforcement, they had a lot of German Shepherds, which you can kind of still see today. They had a lot of Rottweilers and things like that. They got rid of the Rottweilers, from what I read, because their bite force was too much. They would latch onto somebody, and not only would they, latch onto them good, but they would possibly break a bone. So there was a lot of liability there. So a lot of police agencies got rid of a Rottweiler. They adopted these dogs when they saw how intelligent they were, how athletic they were, how eager they were to train, and how awesome they were at pretty much everything. These dogs recently have become almost famous, from the raid on Osama bin Laden to the few movies that have come out now. These dogs are super popular. Almost everybody knows what kind of dogs they are. If you say, oh, it's a cop dog or a military dog, they're like, oh, okay. They often get confused with a German Shepherd, even though they don't look anything like a German Shepherd, but whatever. And today, these dogs some people say that they cannot be family dogs because they are working dogs and they're too crazy, blah, blah, blah. And other people say they're great family dogs. And I'm kind of in the middle. If you look at how they are in America and how America handles dogs, I guess we would say we retard the breed of dogs tenfold in almost every breed. Because for some odd reason here in America, we take a dog and we say we want this dog to look just like this, and that's all we care about is the look of the dog. If you go to any dog shows, a lot of those dogs are bred just for show. So all the natural traits that the dog has, like chasing things, biting things, all that stuff has almost been bred out of them. They just look pretty. Obviously these dogs, there's a lot of like French ring and stuff like that where they do a lot of bite work, but just dog shows where they look pretty, right? They've done that to like the English Bulldog. We've pretty much inbred that thing for the last 30 years and now it's damn near worthless. But these dogs are pretty special because over in Europe, these dogs are still highly used. And over in Europe, what they do is they take this dog and they'll run it through its courses, and let's say the dog gets a little bit small, they'll throw a bigger dog in there and they'll get the breed up a little bit more. Let's say it's not as aggressive, they'll throw another dog in there and make it more aggressive. It's not as athletic as they want to see, they'll throw another dog in the line. So over in Europe, they don't necessarily care about the look of the dog, they care about the performance of the dog. What they have also done, which is pretty amazing, is they've damn near bred out all of the bad health things. So obviously you can get a dog with, eye problems or hip dysplasia or something like that, right? It's not completely gone, But for the most part, these dogs are super, super healthy. And the reason why is because a lot of people that breed these dogs breed them for police and military and things like that, personal protection and stuff. So when they breed them, they don't want a dog that's going to go to a law enforcement agency. Then the law enforcement agency finds out the dog has hip dysplasia and gives it back. It just loses out on money. So what they've done is they take, hey, this female had hip dysplasia, we're not going to breed her. This male had eye problems, we're not going to breed him. So they pretty much bred out all the bad things. Now, I spent about a year and a half doing research before I bought her. I've worked with these dogs in a military capacity. Over in Afghanistan, we had all kinds of dogs over there. I've worked with them in law enforcement. Obviously, they're very prevalent there. And these dogs are beyond amazing in the things they can learn and the things they can do. I did not want a German Shepherd. Personally, I don't really like the look of them. The German Shepherds that would do what she does are a very specific kind, and they come from Europe, and I did not want to ship a dog over because that's super expensive. The ones that we have in America are, unfortunately, they're just horrible dogs as far as protection work and things like that go. The ones that they get from Europe and then breed them, they're great. There's a lot of people out there that have awesome German Shepherds, but for the most part, we have made that dog a show dog, and it just looks pretty, and it'll bark, and that's about it. I wanted a dog that was super intelligent, that was eager and willing to learn, that would protect me and my family, and a dog that really wanted to be part of the family. I just didn't want a dog just to have a dog. I wanted a dog that is another child, for lack of a better term, right? So I researched this dog for about a year and a half. I looked at all the high-level trainers that have like videos on YouTube, stuff like that. Did all the research, talked to all kinds of dog handlers, and they all kind of said the same thing. They all kind of said, listen, you can get a super high drive mal, or you can get a regular drive mal. They don't come down here. They don't come in low drive. Which is, pretty true, I guess, So I kind of watched how to train them. I watched the way people are training dogs nowadays, because it's way different than when I was a kid and I had like hunting dogs. We don't train dogs like that anymore. Back in the day, if a dog did something bad, you swatted its nose, you fucking, put the boot to it, you did whatever, and then, that's how the dog would learn. They don't do that nowadays, and you especially can't do that with these kind of dogs. Because not only are they super intelligent, they're super energetic, they have the willingness to bite anything and anyone, they're super, super sensitive. So if you start hitting one of these dogs, hey, come here, what they're going to do is they're going to start hitting back, right? They are going to get mad at you, and they're going to win because they're way faster than you, and they bite really hard. So I had to retrain my brain, and for a year and a half, I kind of, took all kinds of notes and wrote down exactly what I wanted in a dog and exactly how I wanted to train it. So after a year and a half, kind of came to the conclusion, hey, now's a good time to buy a dog. And I spent, not top dollar, no, because some of these dogs go for like 40 grand. I spent $2,000 or just over $2,000 on her, just to purchase her. And then the breeder was out east on the East Coast, so I had to bring the dog over here. And I spent about $900 for the dog to travel. So roughly just around 3 grand. Another thing I did was I wanted to give the dog the best that I could personally give the dog, right? So I got one of the best kennels you could get to where she couldn't get out of it, to where she wasn't stuffy, it wouldn't squeeze her in. I found a local dog trainer that I thought was a good trainer, and hooked her up with that. So for a year and a half I spent researching, and then before the dog even got here, I spent a lot of money just getting ready for the dog, okay? I got the dog at 8.5 weeks, because it took like 4 days to get, it's about 8.5 weeks. From day one, she started training. For the first 6 months that I had her, She did not eat anything that did not come out of my hand. I didn't put any food in a dish, nothing like that. Everything that she ate came out of my hand. A lot of people think that's a little crazy when I tell them that, but what that did for her was let her know that everything good comes out of my hand. And not only me, but like my children and everything like that did it too. We all helped train her. So everything out of my hand is good. Everything out of their hands are good. This hand is not going to hit you. This hand is not going to be mean to you. Everything is perfect and good out of this hand. So what that did was that instilled in her brain that everything that I give her is okay, is good. And another thing we did is I completely talked to my kids. We did not tease her. You know how fake throw stuff, we didn't do any of that. We let her know that she is 100% part of this family, and we gave her the tools to succeed. Before she ate any food, she had to work for her food. And when they're 8 weeks old, getting them to sit, do a spin, lay down, stuff like that, is really not that hard, especially when they're hungry and you have food. She's very motivated by food. She's also very motivated by toys, and she's very motivated by just giving her some love. She's not special by any means. She's a regular Malinois. I'm not special by any means at all. I don't have any certifications or anything like that as a dog trainer. I just spend a lot of time talking to trainers and doing research myself. But she came into the house. We did the regular thing where you potty train the dog. Took her out every couple hours, even all through the night for the first couple weeks. She caught on super quick. At night, she was in a kennel. I put her right beside the bed, and one thing that I learned that I didn't really realize that I was doing was with all my other dogs, when they were in their kennel and they were puppies and they would cry, I would take them out of the kennel. I would say it's okay. I would pet them, stuff like that. What that instilled in the dogs was, hey, every time I cry, I'm going to get petted. So this time, I can't remember the trainer's name. I wish I did. This one trainer said, hey, listen, put the kennel by you, and when the dog starts whining, all you do is drop your hand over the bed and put your hand by the front door of the kennel so she can smell and lick your hand. All that's doing is reassuring her that I'm here, everything's fine, you can chill out. And that's what I did. And after about 3 nights, she was golden. Even to this day, when it's time to go to sleep, she runs up, and we don't even have the kennel door open. We'll go up in the bedroom and she'll sit there in front of her kennel until I tell her to go to sleep. Another thing we did to get them to go in their kennel easy, I think, I can't remember who said this either, but because I looked at so many trainers and all their stuff. Every time we put her in the kennel, she gets a treat. Every single time, even right now. Why? Because if I tell her to get in her kennel, she runs in there like a fucking missile, and she hits the back of the kennel and spins around and waits for a treat. There's not a single time that I've told her to get in there that she will not go in there. She'll go in there voluntarily. If she sees me starting to get my hat and my shoes on, she gets excited and wants to go for a ride. But if I'm doing something else where she's not going to go, she runs to her kennel. I have all kinds of neighbors that can't even get their dog to come back to them, let alone get their dog to do anything else, right? And again, everything that we did was just a building block on top of everything. Her recall is insane. Her kenneling, the only thing she has an issue with is heeling on a leash, because I don't know why, she just gets super excited when we go somewhere. She starts whining, it's like high-pitched whine, and she doesn't want to be on a leash right then and there. After about 15 minutes of being out, she'll chill out and she does perfect. But about the first 15 minutes, I don't know if it's her anxiety or she's just super excited, but she just goes absolutely insane and she doesn't want to be on the leash. But we're still working on it, right? Again, with the training right away, again, we started 8.5 weeks. Everything that we did, and I'll put some videos in here. When she was a little puppy, everything that we did, we gave her food for, and that's how she ate. So she would do a bunch of stuff in the mornings, then she would eat out of my hand, and then we'd go about our day. Along with the training, I didn't introduce a bite sleeve until she was about 6 months old. I introduced a wedge first because the sleeve was too big. The wedge was actually almost too big. But she almost instinctively knew how to do that. Instinctively just knew how to bite, grab, hold on, and do the wiggle around gator thing. I didn't have to teach her how that, hey, you need to bite this. She just did it. One thing that we did have to teach her is a dog, you know, you want a full, like let's say this is the thing here, you want a full bite. You don't want them to bite like this. You want a full bite. So what they do is you know, give them the whatever wedge, whatever you want to use. If they bite with their front, you just don't show them anything. You just hold it. When they readjust and re-grip, then you play with them. Then you make the sounds. Then you wiggle it, because they know that if I rebite, if I get a full bite on it, they're gonna play with me. If I don't, it's just gonna be a limp, wet noodle, and nobody likes to play with that. She gets, whenever we break that out, the bite sleeve or a ball or anything like that, she goes insane. She starts whining, she starts doing circles. I mean, it's crazy. Let's see. Trainers. So a few months after we got her, we went to Alaska for 2 weeks on vacation. Didn't bring her with us. So I found a trainer that was local that was coming over about every week, every other week to help training anyway. I left her with her. That cost a lot of money. And the trainer was supposed to work with her a lot more than she actually did. I wasn't too happy with the results I got, but neither here nor there, all right? So vet your trainers more than I vetted mine. Make sure that if you're gonna do we had her there for 2 weeks, and I was expecting to get way better results than what I did, but it is what it is. Just vet your trainers and make sure that you have a clear line of this is what I want out of you. Let's see. So on a daily basis, these dogs are kind of just like us. They have their times when they want to take a nap. They have their times when they want to go crazy and play. Now, if you take these dogs out for a 5-mile run every day, what all that's going to do is build up their endurance, and they're just going to want to do that more and more and more, right? If you go take them for a 4-mile hike once a week, again, they're just going to do it want to do it more and more. So whatever you and your lifestyle are, then you have to kind of adjust that for the dog. If you're somebody that's completely lazy, that only wants a dog to cuddle up at night, and you just want to keep them in a kennel all day, then don't buy one of these dogs. Get a lab. The more you play with them, the more they're going to want to play. We can break out a ball at any point in time, and she will go and get that ball and bring it back until she dies, till her fucking heart explodes. We have to take the ball away from her and let her go chill out, because she like hyperventilates. It's crazy. As far as her willingness to engage, she'll do it anytime, day or night. It doesn't matter if she's tired or not. If we play ball for an hour and then I break out a bite sleeve, she is gonna freak out on the bite sleeve, and vice versa. She's always wanting to learn, always wanting to play, always willing to do the extra thing. Along with that, so for the biting stuff, right? We have obviously a command that we give her to bite. We have a pre-command to let her know she's going to be biting something. I've done things on my own, like put a sleeve underneath the shirt and put a mask on and got dressed up to see how she would react. And the cool part is she's always willing to learn, and she's willing to go above and beyond. They say that you cannot take a dog, any dog, and make it a bite dog or a protection dog. And that's probably true. I don't know if you could take a lab and make it wanting to bite people. To her, it's a game. It's just a big game. She's not angry. She's not anything like that. She thinks it's a game. So if we tell her to go bite somebody, she's thinking that she's going to bite them, and then afterwards she's going to get a reward for that. She gets, as far as family life, she goes with us almost everywhere. Right now she's laying on the ground chewing a bone. That's another thing, is we don't give any rawhide. Rawhide's like real bad for dogs. She gets frozen soup bones that we get from the store, or I make tomahawks all the time, and she gets a tomahawk bone. So on the biting, how you progress a dog into being willing to do whatever you tell them is by small increments. You let them win all the time, especially when they're puppies. For the first year of their life, you play tug and then you let them win. You let them pull you down. You know, I'm 6'2", 270, and I have a 4-month-old puppy, throwing me down. Why? Because in their mind, they're like, oh, dude, I just took this big guy down. Oh, man, if I bite a little harder, he's going to whine and he's going to fall down. And they think in their mind that they are invincible because they never lose. You don't let them lose. And even now, every time we do it, we let her win. Every single time. We never let her lose. Now we'll let her struggle and we'll give her obstacles to overcome and we'll build those obstacles up until they're really hard, but we don't let her lose. Because in her mind, she's always winning and she's always going to win the fight. I've never seen a dog like her as far as willingness to engage. Even when my Rottweiler, he would hesitate sometimes to do things, right? If he got scared or whatever. She doesn't do that. There's no hesitation whatsoever. If she's gonna go, she's gonna go. And she doesn't care about anything else. I heard one dog trainer kind of describe a Malinois as, if you have a Malinois and a German Shepherd and you're standing on the cliff and you take a ball and you wing that ball over the cliff, that Malinois is gonna run, jump off the cliff, and it's gonna wag his tail, and it's gonna catch the ball, and it's gonna be the happiest dog in the world until it hits the ground. The German Shepherd is going to see that ball over the cliff, look over the edge, and then find a way to crawl all the way down there and then get it. Malinois are just a little bit crazy, right? But that's what I wanted. I wanted a little bit crazy. Because on the flip side of that, she's also an amazing family dog. And the wife was actually really worried that we were going to get this dog and she was going to go crazy and bite kids in the neighborhood. But that's just not the case, not even a little bit. She'll lay on the couch, she'll lay in the bed, the kids come over and neighbor kids come over, she'll play with all the kids. She's never once snapped or even looked like she was gonna hurt any of the kids ever. All the neighborhood kids know her, and I have full confidence that if any neighbor kid was in any sort of trouble from some creepy fuck, trying to kidnap somebody or some shit, this fucking dog would protect any of the kids around here. She fucking loves kids. They're the same size. So I have no issues with her, with any children. Around other dogs, she does amazing. We've taken her out again since she was, 8 weeks old. We take her out with us. We go for rides in the truck. We go to Home Depot. We go to Shields. We go to Bass Pro Shop. Everywhere that they let dogs in, we've taken her. She is registered as a service animal for me. So I can legally kind of take her anywhere I want. One thing that you should know about these dogs is once you get them trained on something, right? Whether it's a toy or a sleeve or anything remotely like that, they have a singular focus. They don't want anything else in life. Freya, come here. Come here. Come here. Out. Come here. Just like this. This is all she wants right now is her bone. Wait. Okay. Good girl. And she'll sit there staring at it and only want the bone. So she'll do whatever I want her to do for that bone. She is an amazing dog. And the other thing we did when she was a baby was we always gave her something. I never let her out of my sight. Didn't leave her out in the backyard by herself ever. Didn't leave her in the house unaccompanied or or without supervision ever. If we're gone, she's not with us, she's in her kennel. I hear horror stories of dudes that'll be like, oh man, I don't get it. I was just gone for a little while and then the dog tore up the couch. Well, no shit, you're fucking stupid. These dogs are high energy, and if they don't have anything to do, they're gonna find something to do. And that something is gonna be chewing up your couch. She has never chewed a couch, never chewed any of our shoes, never chewed anything. The only thing she's ever chewed are like water guns that the boys leave out in the backyard. She chewed a couple of those because the boys left them out there. She thought it was one of her toys. Can't really fault her for that. Everything else, she's really good about a lot of things. She does kind of get in the trash a little bit, like the bathroom trash. But she's really kind of, that was more of a puppy stage, and she's kind of going downhill on that too. As far as taking her out in public, I don't let too many people pet her or mess with her, only because I don't want her to get in her head. See, she's hitting the camera. I don't want her to get in the head that everybody's nice, that it's okay for anybody to come up to her. I don't want that. I want her, because my wife takes her on hikes early mornings on the weekends, I want her to be weary of people, so that when some strange fuck comes up to my wife in the middle of the woods, that she's not gonna be like, oh, it's a friend. No, it's not. It's some creepy fuck that probably wants to rape or murder or, you know, rob my wife. And I want her to be able to protect my wife at all costs. So what I say for you to get a Malinois, that's up to you. That's up to where you live, your lifestyle, and what you want out of a dog. I knew what I wanted out of a dog. I knew that I wanted a dog to protect me, to protect mine, to protect my belongings. I also wanted a dog that was part of the family, and these are called Velcro dogs for a reason, because if we are all in the truck and somebody gets out of the truck to go in the gas station, she'll freak out. She doesn't want to be away from anybody. She doesn't want to not be more than 5 feet away from you. She'll go outside and kind of, you know, play with herself a little bit, but as soon as she hears something inside, she runs right back inside. She's not one of those dogs that can do everything on their own and doesn't give a shit about her family. Completely the opposite. All she wants to do is be around us and hang out with us and do whatever we want her to do. And she knows, again, because of that building blocks that we did when she was a puppy, that anything that we tell her to do, she's not going to get hurt. She shouldn't be scared. And, you know, that just comes down to, you know, who you're looking at for trainers, all the, you know, the research that you've done on the breed of dog you're getting, how you're training them, and what do you want out of the dog. Again, I got a female dog because, one, I've never had a Mal before, and females are less territorial or less aggressive, for lack of a better term, than male dogs. She doesn't care about marking things, or she doesn't have to be the tough guy on the block around any other dogs like male dogs sometimes do. Also, they say, and I'm not 100% on this, but they say the female dogs are a little bit more loving, right? I don't know if that's true or not. All I know is, come here, straight up. All I know of this little girl is pretty awesome. And I wouldn't trade it for anything. So should you get one? It's up to you. If you do get one though, make sure you're not one of those people that live in an apartment and keep your dog cooped up all day. Because no dog wants to do that. Especially these kind of dogs that are very energetic, very high drive. All they want to do is make you happy. But in return, they want you to make them happy too. So if you get a dog, remember yourself, are you an asset or a liability for your dog?